How's it going, and welcome back to the channel. It is Saturday morning, which means it's park run day, and today we are off to Holyrood Parkrun, which is just off the centre of Edinburgh. It's a stunning, really scenic route, not a great one for getting your PB, and you also get to run round Arthur's Seat, which is a very well-known monument in Edinburgh. Another great thing about this course, which you don't get with many, is that it is a single lap, which I actually really like. Just one single lap, you're not doing the same loop over and over again, so it is a great one for that, and it is also on a hard standing ground, so all you need is road shoes. You don't need any trail shoes whatsoever. And if you don't know what a parkrun is, it is simple. It is just a 5k run ran by a group of volunteers. You've got to sign up on the website to get your own personal barcode, and then once you finish the run, you'll be given your own barcode with a position, and then once you scan both these park runs, you'll get back your own official park run time and position. And now here is a quick summary of the course. So it's quite difficult 1.5k to begin with, followed by a flat, followed by an easy 1.5k at the end downhill. There's also a little bit of a cheeky elevation at the very end, and the elevation gain overall is 88 metres. So quite a hilly one. So let's have a look at the course in a bit more detail now. So you're going to start here by St Margaret's Lock on your right hand side, go for about 100 metres on the flat before hitting a slight incline, and then you're going to get your elevation there of 88 metres all the way up past this second lake to the top. Then you've got an amazing view over the other side. About the midway point, it's going to start going downhill. Starts off with a little bit of a gradual downhill before you hit the chicane. This is quite steep now, and then you're going to run your way all the way down to the bottom round here to St Margaret's Well. And I have to say, at the end there's a little bit of a nasty incline to finish off, and that definitely finishes you off for good. Right, now let's have a look at the course records. So at Holyrood Parkrun, the fastest male was Andrew Douglas with a time of 14 minutes and 53 seconds, which is unbelievable, bearing in mind the elevation being so high, followed by the fastest female being Naomi Lang with a time of 16:57. Again, incredible time, I have to say, and it's quite a busy one, this one, with the average number of runners being around 392 and the average time being a bit slower than quite a lot of them, was 28 minutes and 42 seconds. And now my stats, so these haven't changed for a while, but the number of park runs that I'm on now is 11. This is going to be park run number 12, with my best finish position being at Zoloni Jar in 4th place. No park runs recently have managed to get onto the leaderboard, so 5 Archers still in 3rd there with 23:25, Evesham with a time of 23 minutes and 1 second, and Summerdale Pavilion there on top with a time of 22 and 32. So now it's time to take a look at the course. Not too sure whose that name that is on the back just there, but we are getting set and we are off. So we have just started, as you can see, very busy. But one of the good things about this course is that they shut off the roads to the park in the morning on a Saturday as well. So I think it's just going to be us running. It's not going to be any cars on the roads or anything, so it's a really wide course. So it doesn't matter how many people are there. As you can see, we've had a quick start. So the first bit, like we said, was by St Margaret's Lock. It is a very flat start, which is what you like to see at the start of the park run. And we're heading our way now towards the first incline, so about another 100 metres, and then we'll start making our way uphill. So we've passed St Margaret's Lock, and now we're starting to make our way uphill for that first 1.5 kilometres. I have to say, Edinburgh is actually such a nice city as well. We went for a weekend for my girlfriend's birthday, and there's so much to do there. They definitely go up to Arthur's Seat as well, especially if it's warm. If it's a bit cold and windy, you don't want to go up there, it's a bit unsafe. But if it's warm, definitely something I'd recommend doing. I definitely recommend not going off too quickly at the start, because it is quite a steep hill and it's quite a prolonged hill as well. So definitely don't go too quickly, otherwise you'll definitely struggle to get up to the top. And then once you're at the top, you can cruise line this nice little flat, maybe a slight incline, and followed by a slight decline before you hit the steep decline. So definitely take this bit the easiest out of all the bits for sure. You may find as well that this course can be cancelled in the winter due to slippery surfaces, as it can get quite icy, but that's mainly at the chicane on the downhill. So we went in January, sort of January 16th or 15th, can't remember right now, but it was fine then, so I'm sure it'll be fine most of the time. And we've just passed that 4-minute mark, and we are still going uphill, so that shows just how hard the start of this run is. You can see some people in front as well, all wearing warm outfits. On the left hand side, you can start to see in the distance we're getting higher and higher. Arthur's Seat is just to the right of us as well, so I definitely recommend climbing up that at some point. We're doing quite well though so far. We've not stopped, which is what I like to see. Got the gloves on there, as you can see, to keep my hands warm. Getting a little bit steeper now, I'd say, at this point. And on the left-hand side, in a few seconds, you'll see the pond. I mean the lake, sorry. You might not be able to see it too clearly, but it's quite a big lake and it's quite picturesque as well. So in the summer, I think this park run would be stunning, but unfortunately we went in January, so not the best for days for weather, but it was still a really nice run and definitely one that I'd recommend if you do go to Edinburgh. As you see, a little lay-by on the left-hand side, just further to the left is where that lake is. We are now making our way up towards the sort of flat point and the further side of the Arthur's Seat. So as you can see, even though it was really busy there at the start, it has spaced out pretty quickly, and there's space for at least 4 runners side by side, I have to say. So it's a really good one for people overtaking, and a really good one as well for trying to just get round people and not bump into each other and trip each other up. I think at this point I just was dying. I was thinking, God, this can't go on forever, this uphill climb. But it does end, promise, it does end. If you stay tuned, it will end. But if you are enjoying these sort of videos, do make sure to hit that like button as well. It does definitely help me. And I like to see how many people are enjoying these. And also don't forget to hit that subscribe button and let me know what was your favourite park run and what is your fastest time. And there it is. You may be able to see on that far left hand side the lake. It really picturesque, like I said. So we are just going around that lake now, heading our way towards the flat. This is pretty flat here right now, but there probably is still a slight incline as we make our way around. You can see some doggos there as well, so if you have got your dog, you can take them too. I've just quickly moved over to the left hand side just so I don't have to run as far, trying to get the inside lane. And then we'll probably head our way over to the right hand side in just a minute once we've done this curve. But you can see in the distance now, it's a really nice day. You can see why it's gone dark on the screen, because the sun just was rising as we were doing the run. It was a perfect time to go, to be honest, on this run. And you can see in the distance as well, potentially some buildings, but in a second you'll get a great view over the other side of Holyrood Park and the other side of Edinburgh. And there you go. So on that left hand side you can see just over Edinburgh, you can see for ages. So going up Arthur's Chair is definitely recommended. It is pretty dark right now, but it's not actually that dark when you're there. It's just because the sun was so bright in front of us. So apologies for the dark footage. But yes, stunning scenery and definitely the best atmosphere I've ever seen at a park run so far. As you can see, we're at the flat now. Guy were there in front of us with 100 park runs. Fair play to them. But at this point, you can start taking it a little bit more easy, because it's going to be like this for most of the rest of the run before the slight little incline there at the end. But there's just a big decline coming up now. So you know you've done the hardest bit, and now you can chill out a little bit. It really is amazing though how they were able to just close off the road on a Saturday, so it's great for the park run, I have to say. But in a minute we're going to get up to an area where there is a bit of a road closure anyway, so you have to sort of funnel in onto the left hand side, but then also keep to the right just in case of any cyclists etc that are also using the same track. Now as you can see, we've probably passed that centre point, the halfway point now, so we're starting to head our way downhill, so it's a very slight decline, which is nice, definitely a nice feeling on your legs after you've just done all of that uphill. And then for the rest of it, you're pretty much going downhill until the final bit where you're going to go uphill to the finish line. I was actually very surprised that they'd only done 72 park runs at this location. I thought there would have been quite a few more here, as I thought it was just a perfect spot really for a park run, but maybe they didn't actually close off the parks on a Saturday, and then once they did, then they started to do the run in the morning. I'm not too sure, but this is where it's sometimes when it's frozen and stuff, it can be cancelled because of how slippy it is as you go downhill. You'll see the chicane in a minute where it's basically like a racing chicane, so it looks great fun to go down on your bike or whatever. I think this would be a great place as well for like tobogganing or going down on the sleighs and stuff. That would be such good fun. So I think at this point, if we're off camera to the right hand side, I think that is where Arthur's seat is. We're still obviously downhill here coming towards the chicane. Slow sign because we're going far too quickly. But yeah, as you can see, the road's going to start to narrow at this point, and this is where the chicane is here in the red and white. So at this point is where, if it's cancelled, it's probably going to be cancelled because it is very slippy here. This is probably the most steepest point as well, so coming down here, be careful, you don't want to go too quick. If you've got bad knees, take it easy for sure. But no, this is a really nice run, I have to say. Great bunch of volunteers as well, all really happy and cheerful, and great views as well. So even if you're not doing the park run, I would definitely recommend just going to the park, Holyrood Park, and just do a quick loop and maybe even go up to Arthur's Seat. It's really stunning views. And so we're now onto that final bend. It's sort of like a 3-leaf clover where you go do one quick petal, follow the second one, and now you're on to the third one. So this is the final bit, going around before you're heading your way back towards that start line. The start and the finish line are pretty much 500 metres away from each other, really close. So you can get there by a few different routes, and I'll tell you at the end. I feel that because it is all downhill, it's really hard to gauge when you should start to speed up and when you should try and do the sprint finish. But as you can see, we're only 19 minutes in still, and it is still going downhill right now. Salisbury Crags is probably on the right hand side, just off screen. And yeah, we're just heading our way now towards the end. So hopefully we can get a decent time and try and get under 25 minutes like we always aim for. As you can see, someone's just ran past us there with a pram as well, so you're able to take those if you want to. I still don't get how people can push those up that hill at the start. That's actually crazy. But I suppose on the way down, what we need to do is jump on the back and just ride it down. That'd be a great way of getting down really quickly. As you can see, they're not doing that, they are running it. So as you can see, we've pretty much done all of the downhill now. This is more of a flat, maybe even a slight incline, to be honest. On the left hand side, in just a second, you will see the dynamic earth as well, which is like a futuristic science sort of lab there. You can see on the left hand side, that was actually closed while we were there for refurbishment, but it should be open now, and it's definitely somewhere where I'd recommend to go if you've got children and things like that. Even if you've not got children, I think it'll be quite an interesting place, talking about all the future innovations and things like that. And then also behind that, on the left-hand side, is the Scottish Parliament building, which is quite interesting. We actually wanted to go inside and have a look at it, but unfortunately it's closed on a Sunday, so bear that in mind. They do not open on a Sunday. Got a few people here gliding past us on this right-hand side. They've definitely conserved their energy for this final bit. I remember struggling here because I thought, for goodness sake, I thought it was all downhill, but this is actually a little bit uphill. Holyrood Abbey is actually also on the left-hand side here, which I definitely recommend going to too. It's sort of like a royal abbey. I think it was built in something like 1128 when it was what we read about it. And the car park here is also on the left-hand side for all of those that have got a car. But yeah, this is where we're getting up towards the end. It is beginning to go uphill here. My girlfriend literally went up the hill to get a good video of us, so I'll definitely play that now. As you can see us there in the distance, we're still jogging. Put my hands on my head as well because I was definitely knackered at this point. I forgot well, I didn't really realise, because if it's the first time you're doing it, you don't actually realise how much of a hill it is. At the end, it's just a slow, gradual incline, and they're always the worst, I find. Quite a sharp turn here as well, so be careful if you're going quite quickly, you don't want to trip over. And then into the final straight, the finish line is just up ahead. We've just hit 24 minutes as well, so I'm getting a little bit worried at this point that we might actually get slower than 25, when in my head I always want to try and beat that 25. But there you go, you can see me here from my girlfriend's footage in the background, trying to pick up the pace to push for this final few seconds. We can see the finish line there, the fluorescent sign at the front. But can we do it? Here we go, we're almost there. Push for this final bit. Can we get there? 20 miles per hour, we're going far too quickly by the looks of it. And Yes, we finally finished there with a time of 24 minutes and 33 seconds, so I'm very pleased with that. And an overall position of 148th, but a great park run, definitely recommend, really scenic. So that is another park run done. Holyrood is complete, which means we have ticked off H off the alphabeteer challenge. It's definitely a great run to do, not one for your PB, as you can see how hilly it is. And as I've already raved about it, the views are incredible, so I definitely recommend going, regardless of if you're doing the park run or not. As you can see, it is only a 1-lap course, which is actually pretty good. You don't really get many of those around where I live, and it was also a great one for hill training because there's obviously lots of hills. And now let's have a look at the pinch points, which are going to slow you down. So you've obviously got the fact that you've got a 1.5 kilometre hill to begin with. That's going to not be very helpful for getting your PB, and then there's a couple of little bends which are quite steep, quick bends, but apart from that, it's a pretty good run. It's all on hard standing. Obviously, if it's slippy, then that will slow you down as well. But in this case, it was fine. It was wet, not too cold. It was quite warm as well, so it's a perfect day ready for doing the run. And as usual, a huge thank you to all of the volunteers, because without you guys and gals, there is no chance of this run going ahead. So thank you very much. And you're all really kind, friendly, and very happy as well. And as usual, we go through the few tips and tricks. So we'll start off with transport. If you go in by bus, you get off at the Meadowbank Stadium, and that's about a 10-minute walk from the start of the park run. It has excellent bus links as well from Edinburgh. There's loads of buses that actually go to this stop, so definitely check out getting the bus. I managed to get an Uber straight there, so it's quite nice and easy for me. And also, if you get in there by car, you can see the parking, which I showed you there. It may be limited though, so I'm not too sure whether if everyone did drive the car, there would be enough space. I highly doubt it, so try and get other public transport links or Ubers or things like that, so that you're not congesting that car park. Although after the event, I didn't have a chance to get a coffee and cake because we had quite a lot planned for the weekend. They do actually go and grab a post-run park coffee at the Food Chain Cafe, which is at Dynamic Earth. It was actually closed the weekend we were there anyway, but in the future, this is going to be open, so it's only if they do refurbishment and things like that that it will be closed. So again, another park run, and not much more difference to my stats. I've managed to get up to 12 park runs now, so I'm very happy with that. Although my same finish position of 4th place at Lonely Jar and the top 3 fastest times for myself are also staying the same. So this has been Holyrood Park Run, a really enjoyable time. And if you are a regular at Holyrood Park Run, you've got some tips and tricks as well for all of the other viewers, please make sure to let me know down in the comments below. And don't worry, if you want to see some more park run content, we have last week's park run at the old Showfield Park Run, or we have all of the other ones which you can find in my worldwide park run playlist, including volunteering. We are off to Newport Park Run in Wales next week, but I hope you all enjoyed this one, and I'll see you all in the next one.